Let's talk truth. Let's talk Turkey. Epic realities that a lot of folks aren't coming to terms with. Even Tucker Carlson and his narrative, a lot of people liking that, sharing it. And there's some grievous errors there. And it is in defense of the United States because you have to understand, truly understand the United States, what their commitments are in this world, what Russia's been doing forever and a day since 1945, as well as the United States of America. I've tagged the Russian ministry. I've tagged, and that's for Vladimir Putin, of course, Donald J. Trump, at least the accounts. I want to go through this absolutely as it is. It's in my paper, The Nature of International Law, as it really is. I always encourage people to read that. It's probably my greatest Oxford works, and I'm not a doctorate, so that's pretty impressive to be invited to be able to submit to something like that. And I did, and it was received, and you can even find that in AI. But folks, what isn't understood and what Tucker Carlson is getting wrong is that USA is always a proxy with the other UNSC permanent members of that council. We'll see how it goes here. I might get zapped again. I notice can't stay in one spot. People always wonder, why does they're trying to get it again, but once I get mobile here, I might get zapped again because I'm going through residential. The 5 permanent members of the Security Council, every nation in this world signed on to. They are explicitly and only in charge of national security, global security, peace and security in this world. They also make international law. People can come up with all the ideas in the world, but you get one veto from them, you're done. They are unstoppable, individually or all together. Anything they do is that they're privy. We don't have a say. And they do proxies with each other to gain global sphere of influence. Russia's been doing this since World War II. USA's been doing this since World War II. The UK and France have been doing this for thousands of years. They've waned in strength. Why? Because now China gets to do it, USA and Russia get to do it. None of those countries are small or medium powers anymore. They're the great powers, the allies of World War II that we're all sworn to, and we all accepted that, whether we like it or not, good or bad. Your governments have all accepted that. And there is only one way to stop it, and that's a declaration of war. So if you don't like USA and what they do, and you want to say, no, we're going to make you stop, well, you've got to declare war against them. Now, if you don't want to go to war with the United States, you got to go with them. This goes for Russia, China, UK, or France. Now, I'm going to get into the second part of this. Really quick, really easy. We had a G7 summit, supposedly. Canada hosted it. Mark Carney, the Prime Minister. I'm going to try and stop because it is windy. I don't want to mess up the video. Mark Carney hosted it for Canada. You all saw it in Kananaskis. There are 7 members. 6 of which, not USA, 6 of which have serious issues in relation to world wars. In fact, in World War II, of those 6 members, we have a pile who were Axis powers. Get that? The allies of World War II, and you have a permanent 5-member council, global authority. And the only way to take their global authority is a declaration of war. Then you have the G7 taking USA outside of that right now, okay? Let's look at what happened. Donald Trump flies in, listens to everybody puke out their crap. He signs with one other P5 member known as the United Kingdom. They got a trade deal. Says he's hopeful of the EU, not going to hold his breath. He thinks, maybe we'll see one in less than a couple weeks, but if not, 50% tariffs, no problem. Gave Canada its 30-day notice, and then he jumped on a plane and took off. Why? Because Donald J. Trump is a P5 power. His country, United States of America, is the P5 power. Now, you can argue Russia second place, China second place. Hard to say. Russia definitely has the firepower. Now, Canada left with the remainders, this G6, because they continued on for 2 days. And in fact, invited others that USA wasn't in support of. USA had no intentions of any of that. It's not part of the G7 as it was. He made his statement, Russia should be here. It was offensive what you did to Vladimir Putin. I'd be pissed off too. Signed his UK deal, left. Mark Carney goes on. Let me tell you what's happened in the last 2 days. Mark Carney's committed you, Canada, to over $6 billion without a budget to foreign aid, foreign military, foreign investment all over the place. Nothing to do with Canadians, everything to do with countries we don't have a trade deal with. Again, everything we've done, we don't have any kind of economic or trade pacts with, any serious economic trading or influence or trade pacts with. Threw your money away with no budget of any of this, $6 billion. That's what the G7 led to, and largely money to non-G7 members. So that's Ukraine. You saw the mighty $4.3 billion. Epic amount of another almost $2 billion to countries that have nothing to do with the remaining G6. And again, let's go through that G6 that Trump right now has the most strict sanctions, which are, in fact, tariffs against in the world today, including our country, Canada. And Mark Carney went on to make all these commitments and promises with your and my money we don't even have. While Trump says, this is the bill just to enter the Iron Dome. For those who really follow me and for those brave 5 Canadians who came with me to the B7 summit, you all witnessed it, and anyone who reads mine, I say Iron Dome. Donald J. Trump on the airplane, folks, he doesn't say Golden Dome. He says Iron Dome. Those are my words. My words. You can go watch that video. Clearly, he says Iron Dome. Somebody read my presentation, and he's the President of the United States. Even goes on to the members that's outlined in my B7 summit presentation you can find on YouTube. It's already a little over a month old. Way in advance. Like either A, I bugged the White House, or I'm just that well read and that well studied of the Trump administration, former and current. They have proxy wars. They've been having proxy wars with each other since 1945. Now we have China there. If Tucker Carlson can't see that this is a two-sided coin between Russia and USA, and now China as well too, you've missed the plot. UK, it thinks they got a great deal with USA. That's Donald J. Trump, United States of America, him representing America first, showing all the delusional idiots who are attached to the UK through the Commonwealth that see UK will sacrifice all of you for us any given day of the week. That means you have no sovereignty. And Trump's not going to fight it. USA knows this for many decades, many presidencies. They roll over the notes, so to speak, with every incoming president. Doesn't matter if it's Democrat or Republican. USA will continue to grow their sphere of influence, continue to expand their trade and their level of competition with the other P5. It's a natural state of being for them, and that's what they do. And USA will continue in the narrative of America first. Now, not only did we lose all that money out of Kananaskis, we left absolutely all intentions of what is the B7, again, who are largely Axis powers from World War II. Canada isn't. France isn't. But what was France in World War II, everybody? France was completely taken over by Germany in 1 week's time. People like to read World War II and ignore everything. I even had one woman in the space talking about Franz Ferdinand, and she neglected to mention, I wouldn't even answer her. Who's that? Tell me about that. Like it's relevant. Archduke, a crown, colonial, part of the kingdoms. Canadians glide over these things completely ignorant. France was an empire too. France was taken over in a week's time. Why they were granted P5 status is beyond me. I think it was USA saying, well, they helped us with independence. They've helped us in a number of years. They did the Louisiana Purchase. We do owe France some respects. But I think after what we've seen of Macron, of Italy, the European Union, and then India brought forward, why is India there? Why is India going through their narrative? And all of a sudden all's well with Canada. Well, that's your mass immigration, folks. So Mark Carney rolled back everything on immigration, reinstituted and re-implemented India. All ambassadors, all of those agencies are right back to Trudeau land and Harper before him. We do mass immigration in this country. We are the evil that plagues America from the Democrats. Illegal made legal. We're not doing anything in the next 30 days to do anything effectual for the United States. In fact, we're going the other way. We're going with supposed allies of Europe and around the world that don't have any sway or power. And in fact, all they are using us for is a dumping ground of their overflows. And now we're going to be hijacked. China, India, completely hijacking Canada. Mark Carney moves back to the wealthy elite scenario. We've got to double down on the pyramid scheme. We've got to add another population layer to the bottom. Is housing and inflation and cost of living going to go down in Canada? No, it's going astronomically up. And with what he's promising to spend in the neighborhood of over $250 billion this year, on top of last year's budget, another $250 billion. Insane amount of money. Can't be negotiated well. It's going to reduce our credit rating. I don't even know that USA is going to be involved in lending because they've already moved to guess who? London, England, London financial institutions, where the inflation, just like it is in Canada, but not USA. Before we had loans, all our loans are with USA. And in USA, inflation goes with the lender, not the borrower, even the country of Canada. And now they're moving to the same system as Canada, but it's a UK system because they developed it, where inflation follows the lender, not the borrower. Meaning Canada, Canadians, you subjects, you First Peoples, narrated savages in the Indian Act, you will eat the inflation. You'll be liable for it. Every incremental renewals that don't exist in the world of America that so many people run down. A beautiful financial system that gives equality for all. And Canadians don't see it, and I don't know why not one fucking banker, excuse my language, but really, one fucking Canadian banker or one fucking Canadian economist wouldn't tell all of you this. Why is the media not reporting that? It's because of Crown. It's because they're corrupted to an exponential magnitude. The Canadians will not survive. Now, over the long term here, it's called pain. I don't know when we exceed this big, beautiful bill, if that goes through Senate and the Americans get those tax reductions, the actual American people, which, yes, there's a fight there with Senate. There is still that swampy mess that wants to keep Americans down. But Trump is trying so desperately hard to give to the people, leave his legacy, and then put it on all these evil regimes around the world, wherever they hail from. And good on him, God bless. And just a closing here, everybody. that for Tucker Carlson, if you don't see the USA is only playing the same game that Russia plays, China plays, UK plays, and France plays, I don't know what to tell you. Why would you not at least acknowledge that and say, you know, looking at it from that perspective as the allies of World War II, Donald J. Trump is putting America first. Whether we like it or not, it's their authority. It's what we all voted for. And like I said, if you want a different world, you want to be real subjects without any rights at all and no property. I mean, we're almost there in Canada. There's videos going viral, just how stupid Canadians are, really ignorant. And it's sad that they still can't get, even on my feeds, you can't get the fact that how much Crown land is everywhere and all around us in epic scale and size, vastly outstripping what we have or what the First Peoples have. And you butt heads against each other while the Crown laughs at you. And I even watch my own followers or even new followers like you're this completely ignorant. That doesn't exist in the United States. And Canada, the 51st state for the 100th time, or any settlement like the one I proposed for Treaty 7, all those government parks, all of those Crown lands in epic scale and size in just Treaty 7. And it blows me away. It blows me away that Canadians or First People still don't get it. Even when I showcase how much fucking land that is. And you still don't get it. Like, duh! It blows me away. And I'm not targeting friends and followers here who've been with me a long time. This is for all Canadians and First Peoples who are this aptly ignorant. That just south of the border, none of that exists. Sure, the government's got its really beautiful parks, but Indian reserves are massive in scale for those who constituted comparatively anything in Canada. There is nothing comparable. It's a joke. They talk about Métis and Alberta having the most private property. Yeah, because the rest of Canada hardly has sweet fuck all. 9%, that's what it works out to. And even of that, half of that is controlled by those elites. Meaning it's rental, and it's been so overvaluated, your average Canadian's never going to get there. You're going to rent your tiny piece. It blows me away. It scares me, the level of ignorance and just how ignorant people are. And they know nothing of the allies of World War II. You know it's important, you just don't know why. As you keep intaking that access. And the G6 that remains, that's really a G8 now with Ukraine and India, right? Like, why are they all of a sudden central to this? USA out, India and Ukraine in? Is that what you all want to see in Canada? Do you love mass immigration? Is that what we are? Just a shit society? Of all the problems of Europe, we've allowed to manifest and survive, starting about 1990, really multiply and grow here at an exponential rate when we've never had any real trade pact with the European Union, and any idea of any kind of military involvement is for their peace and security, not ours. And our big brother, our best friend, says, hey, you got to cut that shit out. Now, you want sovereignty, which you don't have. We just proved that. Trump proved that on the G7. He said, where's China? Because that's your sovereignty. That's all my work. It's all my work. Everything Trump said and did, and everything after in the plane ride home, it's all what I wrote and published a month ago in its entirety. And he was disgusted with this new proposed G9 that isn't his G9, as you'll find in my B7 summit. 2 documents, Pete Hoekstra said. One is no good, one's great. That's my document. For those who were there, who lived it, you all saw it. I wish more had come out to see that. I know it's scary against the federal government of Canada and their systems of enforcement, but you know what? I've got beautiful invites across the United States right now, all the way to California. Immense July here. I've got a ton of work. I'm going to be rolling that out for all of you, so hang on. I don't see anything happening to me. I can't see it. I think I've grown far enough in geopolitical realms that it would be a big mistake for anybody to put me down at this point or try to sabotage you. I think they're more scared of anything of the United States now more than ever. For those saying World War III and the United States, no. Look at your new G8, this version of G8 that was 2 days after Trump left. There's your roots of World War III, because it certainly isn't in with Donald J. Trump, Israel, Iran, the Middle East. That's been going on forever. It's always going to go on. And USA, Donald J. Trump, and the Republicans aren't going there. And if you doubt that, I suggest you get off your ass. Pick up the Republican published platform. Go take a strong, hard look at all the trade pacts he's making, the changes with the tariffs. That has nothing to do with World War III. That is an absence entirely of a World War III. That's how confident the Republicans are, and I believe it, and I can see it. I don't see this big war coming in the Middle East. I don't see it. I could see, however, these remaining new proposed G8 by Canada's hosting over the last 2 days being leaders in a World War III. They could be initiating that. I'd be very careful about putting your children in the Canadian Armed Forces going forward. Even these cadets, Mark Carney's talking about how he's going to expand and forced military service, because I bet you it's not his grandkids or Trudeau's kids or any of the elites' kids. It's going to be your kids. And your kids are going to be on these fronts, getting wasted by drones on epic levels never seen in any global conflict. That's what I see. I clearly see that. And maybe Tucker Carlson should look at that stuff. But like I said, teach their own. I see it clearly in real geopolitics. I know USA isn't innocent, but I don't see them having to be innocent, because they're not the bad guys here. Neither's Russia, neither's China, neither's UK, even though I hate everything about their system, or France. They're just doing what they're entitled to do, what they can enforce and do. If you want to change that, you need the power of enforcement. If you want that power, snap of a finger, Canada, the 51st state, the cherished 51st state, Donald J. Trump all the way, 110%. That's my video. Get it out there, get it shared. True, credible, real, verifiable. God bless. Bye now.